Hi, my name is Melissa Hesselmeyer and I am a librarian at Lone Star College Montgomery. In this video, I will be introducing you to some library resources, providing you with information on how to access these resources, as well as showing you a few databases that will be helpful in your assignment for your criminal justice class. Let's get started. Let's start by taking a look at some of the resources available to you on the library webpage. To access the library webpage, go to lonestar.edu and click on Libraries. This will take you to the home page for the libraries, where you will find a lot of useful information. On the right-hand side of the home page, you will notice the contact information for all of the Lone Star campus libraries, including LSC-Montgomery. You will also notice our Chat with a Librarian feature, which is one way that you can get research and citation help from a librarian when you are unable to visit in person. In the center of the library homepage, you are able to search the catalog, access the database via the Find Articles tab, as well as get other information such as help with research, access to our research guides, get more information about library services, and identify the hours that the library will be open. For your criminal justice research assignment, you will need to access the databases available to you as LSC Montgomery dual credit students. In order to access the databases from your personal computer or the computers at your high school, all you need is your library barcode. There are two ways for you to get your library barcode. The first way is to visit the LSC Montgomery Library, where one of our staff members will assist you in getting your student ID. If you get a student ID, you will need a few things: your Lone Star student ID number, proof of current registration in a Lone Star College course, and a photo ID. The second way to get a library barcode is by filling out the library card request form. The URL to the form is below. Your library barcode will be emailed to you within 2 business days. You must use your Lone Star email address when requesting your barcode via the form. Now let's get into the databases. Since we are already on the library homepage, we will want to navigate to the Find Articles tab located in the Start Your Research section. Our databases are grouped by subject, meaning that under each subject we have listed databases that search for resources in that subject or discipline. Since you are taking a criminal justice class, you would want to start your search process with the databases listed under criminal justice, government, and law. First, you will notice that we have categorized our databases even further by type. For research in the criminal justice, government, and law, we have provided a list of databases to use for articles, reference and ebooks, U.S. and Texas laws and statistics, and videos. This grouping provides you, as the researcher, with a better idea of the databases to use based on the type of information you are looking for. Let's take a look at a few databases that would be helpful as you start the research process. For this assignment, your instructor has asked that you use articles from peer-reviewed journals to support your argument. I will want to start my search in the databases listed under the Articles section. I will select the drop-down arrow next to the articles and review the descriptions of the databases listed here. For my example, I will be looking at how evidence is handled for the film Erin Brockovich. Because I'm looking for articles that look at the legality of gathering evidence by trespassing, I will use the Legal Collection database, which provides access to 250 law journals. As I open up the Legal Collection, I notice that I have a lot of options when it comes to controlling my search from the database homepage. The homepage defaults to the basic search, but you can also click on Advanced Search for additional search options. Since I am just starting my search for research articles, I'm going to use the basic search and will enter my search terms in the search box. It looks like my search yielded about 6 different articles. From this screen, I also have a lot of options to refine my search results. Some of the most common limiters you will use are under the Limit To box. Here we can tell the database to only show us results that we have full text access to, meaning that you can immediately read and download the article. We can also tell the database that we only want results from scholarly, peer-reviewed journals because we are looking for research articles. This is the common expectation when you are doing research in the field of criminal justice, but you can always check with your professor if you are unsure. Lastly, in the Limit To box, we can also tell the database to give us articles published at a certain time. For example, I am interested in articles published in the last 10 years, so I can either use the slide bar to change the publication date, or I can type the years in the box. So we've limited our results down to about 3 articles that will potentially work for your research paper. Let's take a look at one of the articles in our results list. I'm going to look at the record for the article Mass Suppression, Aggregation, and the Fourth Amendment. When I open the record, I immediately notice the abstract for this article. The abstract is a summary of what the article is about and can be very useful in determining whether or not the article is going to provide valuable information for your topic. Another thing I notice is that this record lists several linked subject terms that pertain to what is covered in the article. These subject terms can be very helpful in identifying additional search terms that pertain to my topic. Based on my original search, it looks like I could also search for exclusionary rule. When I click on this term, it links me to articles on that same subject in the database. I also can see that I am able to download the PDF full text of the article from the left-hand sidebar. In the right-hand sidebar, there are several tools that I want to point out. You can see that you can easily print, email, and save this article from this page. This database, like many of our databases, has a citation tool built in. Just click on Cite and then scroll down to the citation style you need. In this case, we will be using APA, so I can copy and paste the citation for this article into my reference page. Anytime you copy a citation from a database, you should double check the citation against that particular citation style rules to make sure everything is correct. Another database that will be useful as you conduct your research is Academic Search Complete. To access the list of databases, I will navigate back to the tab open on my browser and click on Academic Search Complete. This is the most comprehensive database that you have access to through Lone Star College. As the database opens, you will notice that it looks very similar to the legal collection database we used earlier. This database is not limited to just law journals, so you should be able to find additional resources. I'm going to use the subject term that I discovered during my previous search, exclusionary rule, evidence, in the basic search box. You will notice that we start with around 270 search results. Your instructor has requested articles from scholarly, peer-reviewed journals, so I will go ahead and apply that limiter to my search, along with full text and a date range for the last 10 years. That leaves me with around 119 results to review. As you open a record, you will notice the same tools and features from our previous examples. You will often need to search multiple databases to find the information you need. Now that you have gathered some resources, you will need to start writing your paper. You will be using the APA format for your paper. The library offers citation resources on the library homepage. Here you can view a citation guide and a sample APA formatted paper. Another great online resource is Purdue OWL. You can access the site at owl.purdue.edu. If you need help locating resources, navigating the databases, or need assistance with the APA format, you can get help from a librarian.